Welcome aboard, Gaming Geeks. Thank you for joining us and welcome to our first ever episode of Gaming Geeks Live, where in this we will talk about things that we have been passionate about in the geek world.
We also want to talk about things that interest you, all things geek. Stay tuned.
Well, Rick, this is something we've been talking about for some time now.
Oh, yes.
And ultimately, this was Rick's idea. He finally came to me and said, Matt, I think it's time that we got this done and started. I mean, you've been passionate about this for a while, man.
Yeah, and you look at us and you wouldn't typically think of, well, they probably think of me as being a geek, but not you.
I don't look. Let's be honest. I mean, before we get into what some of the things in our inaugural episode. Thank you again so much, by the way, for joining us. But before we get into the geeky stuff that we want to cover, we're two guys that have very athletic backgrounds. We have football backgrounds and as well as other sports. So we never thought that being jocks, we would probably get to the point where geeks would ultimately be our way of life.
Right, but ever since I was young, we always did stuff that was geeky.
Right. And see, bro, I've been a DM. I've been a dungeon master since 1985. And I have never seen someone want to play D&D so goddamn bad as you. And what I mean, I'm serious. Like, you're like, well, when are we going to play D&D again? And like, like, I thought my daughter Braylee was bad. No, and I love it because I need someone to be all on that D&D,
Yeah, escape rooms, gaming. I mean, there's lots of stuff that, that's just what we do.
And every time I say D&D, I think of Howard on The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah.
When he's like, you're playing D&D, and you're playing D&D. Everyone in this living room's playing D&D.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, Howard's a pimp, man. Let it go.
He's not my favorite guy, but you can have him.
That's him being Al Pacino. Everyone in this living room playing D&D. But yeah, I mean, it's just that you when you first started playing D&D with us, man, you kind of help it along, and I mean that in a sense. By the way, Rick, he tends to play a paladin. He likes to be that healer. He's a paladin.
Yeah, I'm always playing the good. I have a hard time playing the evil. We had a campaign where we were all turned into vampires, and got just a paladin.
Your son did that. Your son screwed us over in that campaign.
Yeah, we got stabbed in the back.
And as DM, of course, I knew about it for a long time, but there's nothing I can say about it.
I've never seen so much anger from a D&D game. I don't think that he wanted to play for a while after that.
Hey, and I mean, I had a monk. He was a high-level monk. His name was, what was his name? Phalius or something? He was a badass, man, and then he got murdered.
Did you say Phalius?
Well, Phalius, and the reason it's Faileas, that's Gaelic for shadow.
Okay, I thought you were talking about phallic. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, Phalius.
Okay.
It's spelled like if you fail at something. It's spelled that way, but Phalius, you can look it up. It's Gaelic for shadow. So
okay,
he was a stealthy monk. But yeah, let's go into it, man. You can go first, and I'll follow up with a little bit of it. But what are some of your geeky passions that you ultimately want us to cover on this show, man? Because we got a huge array to do.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different areas we can go into. First off, I'm kind of a little bit older than you, so. But
only by 7 years, people. It's not a big deal.
But I mean, I was into Lord of the Rings by the time I was 13, before there was ever any movies. I mean, by the time I turned 14, 15, I'd read through those books like 2-3 times the series at least.
Do you remember the cartoons like that? They're almost like photorealistic.
Yeah, The Hobbit.
Yeah,
I saw that. And then I think there was like this little generic Lord of the Rings one.
But yeah, it was The Hobbit. I just remember it was almost like it was using photorealism because of the way the cartoon moved. It wasn't the drawings that they constantly flipped the page. And I just remember I'd never seen a cartoon with like that kind of photorealism. It blew me away.
Robert Jordan, David Eddings, a lot of those guys. I know you read a lot of Star Wars books.
I've read, a lot of it has been the New Jedi Order. I even loaned you some of those books, yeah. with the Yusan Bong invasion.
Yeah, and I used them as I used them as book.
Oh no, it's okay. It's been 15 years probably since I read the Yusan Bong Invasion series. Really good series. I'm not a big Luke Skywalker fan, and I think that they emphasize. I mean, I'm ready for, even if Disney can't cut them mustard, I'm ready for Star Wars to literally get away from the Skywalkers, man. I want something totally new.
Yeah, and as you're a Star Wars expert, I've read the Harry Potter books numerous times. I've watched. I mean, we put the movies on and just leave them playing, all the time. So, I mean, I'm kind of the person that kind of knows quite a bit about Harry Potter.
Yeah, we talk. I mean, I am to Star Wars as what you are to Harry Potter, literally.
Except for you got a better memory than me. So, like.
Well, that's what happens when you're young and you have no life.
Because I know that we envision doing trivia, and so we're gonna have hopefully some guest hosts. Not ghost hosts, guest hosts coming in.
I mean, if we have a Ouija board.
Yeah. But they'll quiz us on whatever people want to hear us quiz about. And some of that stuff, I'm like a lot of the Star Wars stuff, I'll probably get 0 points. It'll be quite embarrassing, but I'll still do it.
It depends. If they start throwing Disney in the mix, I can't really help. And this isn't a Disney rip session. But if it's a lot of Disney questions, there's not a lot I'm going to be able to answer. I haven't seen those movies back to front like I've watched Lucas's.
Right.
I mean, Star Wars sadly died in 2015, or at least the year that he sold to it. But going back to Lord of the Rings and whatnot, I mean, so you were how old when you started getting influenced by J.R.R. Tolkien's story?
I mean, when I first started reading, those were like the big series, because I was reading quite young, right? And I just loved it. I remember reading The Wheel of Time, and it's like there was only one book out. You read the book, and then you had to wait 2 or 3 years to read the next book, and then the next book, and so. It's quite a different time now. I'm sure people still do it. There's just so much reading.
I mean, I didn't read. Excuse me. When at the age you started reading, I didn't start reading that early. I didn't. I was into different things. I was heavy into video games, but I wanted to see it on the screen. I hated books at the time, and then I started picking up specific books. I started, as crazy as it sounds, I would pick up Dungeons and Dragons books. I was already playing D&D before 1985, but I didn't really get heavy into it until 1985 when they came out with a book called Oriental Adventures. And Gary Gygax and those guys, Jeff Easley and those guys, brought in all the Asian-style characters for Dungeons & Dragons, such as your ninja, shinobi, your samurai, your yakuza, your Shaolin monk-style characters. And so that's when I started picking up books based on the Forgotten Realms and whatnot, as far as, that's when I started reading. And it influenced me. So, and just so you know, Gary Gygax was heavily influenced to make Dungeons & Dragons based off of J.R.R. Tolkien's books. That's where literally Dungeons & Dragons came from, is the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. So, but so those are some of your earliest influences as far as books and whatnot. But if you had to go into video games, what video games were your earliest influences in that geeky realm? I
mean, obviously, when I first started playing, a lot of it was the arcade games where you actually went and put your quarters in the machine. I don't even remember if it was quarters, but
it was quarters. It was.
Yeah, I remember spending hours on hours playing Donkey Kong. I just loved the subsequent ones.
Yeah.
I mean, the barrels going around back and forth. I mean, obviously, Asteroids and stuff like that on the Atari.
Oh, yeah.
And then the old Nintendo. I mean, once I started having a family and stuff, I remember playing Super Mario Brothers for hours upon end, getting the princess, and then Super Mario Kart. I mean, racing the kids and racing my wife and stuff like that. It was fun.
Well, dude, I remember when I got the Nintendo 64, I was with Alex's mom, Danny, and I had welts on my arm because, she would beat the shit out of me, and I deserved it. I was such a prick when I would do it. You know how you pick up those fake explosive diamonds? Mm-hmm. Well, I would hold on to it. As soon as I entered the diamonds to gain my new thing, I would drop that imposter diamond into the group of real ones, and she'd always hit that explosive diamond that I just managed to time perfectly and drop in the good diamond. Pissed her off. It's good times, man. But you're right about the arcades. Like there were so many arcades. Pac-Man was my first major influence by Bali Midway. It was just the biggest game to me at the time. I mean, everything was Pac-Man. They had a song out called Pac-Man Fever, for God's sakes. I mean, so and I love playing like Tempest and all those other games. There was so many. The arcade, I just remember it just reeking of cigarettes and just body odor and electronics, man.
Yeah, I remember having this little handheld game, and it was a football game. And then it was just these little blips, and you could pass it, but it was like just blips.
You couldn't have one of those blips in the way of the pass.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you had to like move them left and right.
Oh yeah. Do you remember the one football game where you had the big table and they had the balls on each side, and you had to sit there and constantly roll that ball to like run the X's and O's on the screen?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are some good games, man. But see, video game culture is a massive. It's probably right now about 80% of the world of geek right now.
I mean, right now I play a lot of shooter games.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I've obviously changed, but having grown up the way I did, I can't compete with the people that have grown up on these games. Like I do these shooter games, but like I'm bronze, silver, and where people I know they're like they're much higher ranked than I am, and I can just my brain just doesn't work quite as well as I'd like it to.
Yeah, but it's not your fault. I mean, it's like I didn't play a lot of those FPSs because I'm more of a single player RPG or open world kind of sandbox guy. But on those FPSs, I just noticed you're playing against a lot of 13-year-olds that do nothing else but just sit and hone their skills at this game, where it's like, they don't have the time.
Right. And I'm such, I spent the last 20 years, I played a lot of RuneScape.
Right.
And I beefed up my account. Everything's max guild. Anybody who knows RuneScape will know what I'm talking about.
You were playing that when we were a pal, I remember. The service wasn't the greatest, but you were getting what you can.
Oh yeah, and you just mining, and now I see people playing like Rust and stuff like that, and I'm all straight edge. Your character's nude, so I don't usually play that game. I don't want to looking at nude.
And what is Rust?
It's you drop into a place and you have nothing, and then you have to mine wood. It's almost like a Minecraft thing.
Okay.
You have to mine stuff, but it's kind of a real world stuff, and people can kill you. They can They can steal your stuff and stuff like that. And I think there's different modes like survival. I've never played it, but I've seen it played.
Can you private map it?
I think so. I mean, on Minecraft they have like creative. And again, I don't play Minecraft, but I know people that do, and I've seen them play it. But they have a creative where you can't die, and then you have a survival and
right. Well, I had a different idea too that I wanted to throw at you as far as this podcast, because guys, we're going to be going over everything that we've talked about. We're going heavily over like all things geek, from probably some Lord of the Rings at some points in time, Harry Potter, obviously, Star Wars, which we plan on doing 2 segments a month just on Star Wars, video games, obviously, like I said, Dungeons and Dragons, yada yada. But let me ask you this though, because I've never been big. I was for a while, but comic books, superheroes such as DC, Marvel, and Dark Horse, and I think I'm missing one, Valiant something comics. But anyway, a lot of times people want these things where they want your opinion on an entire segment of what if the Hulk fights Superman. If you have these fights, I mean, and some of these can be entertaining because people want to know your opinion. Like, what if Darth Vader fights Batman? Because everyone has a hard-on for Batman. But I mean, I don't. But because like the whole Superman versus Batman thing. But I just don't see how Batman could stand up to Superman. Super sneeze and it's game over. I mean,
yeah. I mean, the big thing about comic books is that's anything that you can imagine can happen. And so you can actually do a battle between Batman and Superman. I mean, when I was young, I used to read a lot of comic books, and obviously, at that point in time, I was a DC guy.
Right.
So I mean, Flash was my guy.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Barry Allen.
But I mean, he went so fast. At one moment, they're showing him so super fast, but then this guy's shooting an ice gun that actually hits him, and it's like,
how
can the gun hit him because he's...
Yeah. Isn't he going faster than that?
Yeah.
Like,
but, I mean, the author gets to have his imagination and come up with stories, and people love them. Kind of like the whole Superman thing, as far as you can't see that he's Superman. I mean, I think those are some magical glasses, and DC went about explaining the hypnotic effect of because the glass came from the spaceship and all that stuff. But
well, yeah, because if you ever noticed, like, I guess in the movies and in some of the comics, like, he would reveal to Lois Lane who he really was, and then he'd kiss her somehow. It would make her forget. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, damn, that must be pretty magical. But not that I want to know. You know what I'm saying? But no, I will say this though. Like, some of these battles have always been like, because I remember in the mid '90s I collected, it was a four set series of Amalgam, and it was when DC and Marvel, they actually got together and fought. So like Quicksilver and the Flash raced, and the Flash won. Superman fought the Hulk. Superman won. And you had these different things. You had Spider-Man fighting Superboy, but Spider-Man won because he had what's called impact webbing. So every time he tried to squeeze out, it would squeeze him harder. It was like a Chinese finger trap. But so like you had these crossovers, and they were pretty good. There was only one draw in the entire battle, and it was Wolverine and Batman. That ended up being a draw. And then ultimately, it would come out with spawning a character out of those two, like Darkclaw or Spider-Boy. When, you know, Spider-Man and Superboy fought, Spider-Boy was born, or Darkclaw, or there was a woman, you had Elektra and someone else, I think it was Elektra and not Wonder Woman, but it was another, anyway, long story short, you had these two people fighting and they created a character out of that. So it was pretty interesting. You should look it up sometime. But I just don't know how much you want to bring in comics at some point. I mean...
Oh, I'd love to talk about them. You know, I would have to refresh my memory on a lot of the stuff. Obviously, the comic books have led to these movie franchises like the Avengers, and I mean, I love watching some of these movies that are, you know, some of these characters on like the Black Widow and her sister. I always like that movie, even though probably not a lot of people like them.
I come from a Lou Ferrigno Hulk era, man. You know, remember that? That was so good.
Well, I remember when Wonder Woman was just a person. Now she's like a god.
Like the Amazon goddess or something.
Oh yeah.
Because it was Linda Carter that played her in the series. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, we were young boys. We remember that one pretty well.
For sure. Yeah.
That was good entertainment, though, man.
Oh,
So then that's another area that we could ultimately cover is superheroes, comics, whatnot. But what else did you have? Did you have other stuff that you had in mind?
I think we're going to talk video games in a future episode a little bit more.
Right.
I mean, a lot of the stuff is just the old age versus the new age.
Right.
I mean, you got me started on Skyrim, I never played Skyrim until 6 months ago. And that was a blast. And,
did you, now, because you got the newer version of it though, were you using mods at all, or were you playing it vanilla?
Vanilla.
Okay. I always play an Elder Scrolls game or any Bethesda game. I always play it vanilla through first, and then I mod. Mods are free, so you'll see it's under creation content. Because Bethesda now has private modders basically finishing their games, but that's cool though. Elder Scrolls Skyrim is a big one. I mean, it's probably to this point. Take Grand Theft Auto 5 aside, you can't count that because that's probably number one. But I think Skyrim's probably the number two as far as biggest video game of all time on a console or PC.
Yeah. I love Valorant.
Mm-hmm.
I suck at it.
As long as you're having fun.
I'm a big Sentinels fan. I love Tens. I watch him on Twitch. I spend a couple hours playing at night. I play with people that are just much better than I am. But you know what? And like my sons don't understand this, but I play it, and sometimes I get frustrated, and sometimes I'll cuss, even though I don't cuss much. I'll cuss, and they're like, "Why are you playing?" It's like, because even when I'm playing bad, I still enjoy it because
Exactly.
I usually make at least a couple good plays a game, at least. Hopefully, when I have a good game, and I tell them they're the ones that bring me down because I play with them and they're higher ranked, so they bring all these good players into it. When I don't play with them and I play my own ranks, I usually do really well.
Well, see, yeah, and that matters. Do that though. I mean, you don't always have to play with people you know. That I've met so many people like Atlas, my friend. That's his Xbox Live name. His real name is Michael, but Atlas in England. I met him through Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and he and I to this day. This was like 15 years ago, and we text. He's in England and I'm here, and we're friends.
Yeah.
I mean, so you meet good people on there. It doesn't just have to be family. Like right now, Mandy wants you to see, I think you've heard of it, 7 Days to Die, the Zombies Apocalypse Survival game. Her and I are currently playing that again together. Like we were doing that before you got here. And I think you would like it. It's a lot of building that you know in like Rust, but then you have to also craft your weapons and create and customize all this stuff just to survive an apocalypse in the zombie era. And you'd like it. I think you'd really like it.
Didn't you show me something on that before?
I did. And then in another zombie game I want to show you this. This is called State of Decay.
I've heard of it.
The video game company Undead Labs sent me this. I'm friends with a couple of people in the developing company. Shout out to Mike. But they sent me this because I created a Facebook group and it's got several thousand followers now. I'm not gonna advertise the group on here, but anyway, they look up some of the bigger groups on Facebook and they found mine, and then they hit me up and said, we want to send you some merchandise for supporting our game. And I'm friends with one of the art designers on there, and yeah, Undead Labs, give them a shout out there. State of Decay 3 is coming out.
I think I saw that. I think I was looking through your other channel. And I think, didn't you do a show on?
Yeah, on yeah. Are you talking about That's Fair podcast?
Yes.
Yeah, I did that. I'll advertise that on that one. Oh, and by the way, listeners, if you don't mind, please give us Gaming Geeks Live. If you happen to like this video, please subscribe to us and follow us on Spotify if you don't mind. We really appreciate the support. We could use all we could get, and thank you. But yeah, on my other YouTube channel, yeah, it's I've done some State of Decay and I've done some other things that we love the whole zombie apocalypse genre. It's just a fun one. But yeah, what else do you got, man? Is there anything else?
Yeah, I mean, that's really about all I have as far as gaming. I mean,
Okay.
Obviously, one of the things that, like I said, we want to do some trivia, but one of the things I was interested in doing is the geek trivia to determine what we are.
Oh,
And there's never really a definition of what's a geek and what's a nerd and stuff like that, but I always imagined that a geek was somebody with imagination and a nerd was just like a bookworm. And there's nothing wrong with being a nerd.
All it means is you're passionate about something.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom used to make a joke though. She goes, the definition, it says, under the definition of geek, it says see Matt. Like, all right, well played. Sometimes she called me a dork, but that's fine.
Yeah. And when I was growing up, being in sports and being in a lot of stuff, I hung out with like 4 or 5 different groups. I hung out with the bookworms. I was, in a lot of advanced math classes and things like that. But then I also was doing athletics, swimming, track, doing a lot of different things. And so, we're very flexible in our friendships and flexible with who we hang out with. So some people would look at us as nerds. Some people look as geeks. Some people would look at us as jocks.
Okay, let me ask you this though. If you're a geek but you love football and you play Madden, what does that make you?
Frustrated.
Are you a gawk or a geek?
I don't know.
Because I stopped playing Madden though because that was bad on my blood pressure. So yeah.
And then NBA 2K, played a lot of that.
Oh yeah. Oh, the sports games, absolutely love a lot of the fight nights, the boxing ones. So big Ali fan is on YouTube. You can see behind Rick there.
Oh,
like a butterfly,
and
like a bee.
And I said I never did any fighter games. Does the Muhammad Ali one where he boxes? Oh, Punch Out. Remember Punch Out?
Oh, that's Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah, Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Oh, that counts. Yeah. There you go.
Is that really a fighter game?
it's boxing. I mean,
Oh, I spent a lot of time on that. That was fun.
but yeah, and we'll talk about like some fighting games in the future that you may have to force yourself to research. Like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter come to mind when you think of it. Like in the '80s, Karate Champ and Double Dragon. I mean, come on.
Never did them.
Oh, these were sexy games. I mean, they were sexy. But all right, well, we can close out our very first episode ever.
Okay, as always, we want to talk about what you guys want to hear about. So in the comments, if there's anything geek you want us to talk about or anything not geek, we'll touch base on it. Let us know and we'll make sure we get on those topics.
Absolutely. And again, if you don't mind taking the time to give us a subscribe, like us, and do anything you can to help us out, because we want to hear from you guys. We will talk about whatever it is you guys want. Rick will tell you this over and over. Give us some, feed us, let us know what you'd like to hear. So, and all right, brother, way to wrap up that first one. And on that note, I am outro.
Me too.